First up here at 11, some families are still trying to recover from the brutal hurricanes of 2024. And in this case here, hurricane damage caused some serious structural issues for this historic house in Dunedin. So the owners had to make the heartbreaking decision to tear it down. But they decided to turn that loss into a big gift to their community. Fox 13's Jennifer Vaglis shows us how One Home's End is helping a local landmark get a new beginning.
Video ever. We're trying to document the restoration and renovation of this house.
For Marcy Wilhelm and her partner Brent Irish, this pink home on Victoria Drive in Dunedin was a dream come true.
Our 125-year-old post-Victorian farmhouse.
The home is known in the Dirt Road neighborhood as Aisling Mór, a Gaelic saying that means dream big. And big the couple dreamt, hiring a videographer to document the rehab of the home on YouTube after it was hit with 4 feet of storm surge from Hurricane Helene.
We're like, okay, maybe we should lift it and that would keep it safe.
So they poured $500,000 into that. But what an inspector revealed,
we found a whole bunch of other issues that we weren't expecting.
Architect and Dunedin Historic Preservation Board member Susan Elftman took a peek too, noticing water and termite damage.
It's kind of like breaking all the bones in the body, and the only thing holding it up is the skin. And the skin was going to have to be replaced too because it had so much damage.
So a demo and rebuild was the route to go. But the couple wanted to do something good with the money they had set aside to rehab the home and give back to a nonprofit just down the street, the Dunedin Boat Club, that's been around since 1929.
Just a bunch of people that are like, for $150 a year, you could join our club and we'll teach you how to boat. And I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Board member Jim Davis says the couple's $100,000 donation is their biggest to date.
We couldn't be any more grateful.
And will help in rebuilding its boathouse. That was also damaged in the 2024 hurricane season.
It's going to be the Dunedin Boat Club with the alliances of the Dunedin Youth Sailing Organization and the Windlasses organization and the Sailability organizations. They cater to the handicapped.
Davis hopes funds will be raised in time for the club's 100th anniversary in 2029. Meanwhile, Wednesday, I was there as Wilhelm saw Aisling Mór post-demo for the first time.
Yes. Yeah.
Tears with a bittersweet meaning.
It's hard to see, but I know good stuff's going to come out of it.
Jennifer Vaglis, Fox 13 News.
Hey, it's Marcy with Aisling Mór, and I've got a update. Not standing in front of the house because the house is no more. It was torn down about 2 weeks ago after several experts, structural engineers, contractors, architects looked at it. They said it was not worth saving and not really savable. What they said was it would be like breaking all the bones in your body and all you really had was your skin to hold you together, and that even the skin, like the outside siding of the house, would all have to be replaced. So that was kind of shocking to hear. I mean, I'd heard that before, but then I'd also heard other people say, oh no, you can save it. Anyway, it's been about a year since, I guess really longer than that. I guess it's been 1.5 years since we started this process. And it took us quite a while to kind of come to the terms of accepting that we couldn't save it. I have a hard time saying it wasn't worth saving, but it's like when they did the exploratory demolition, what they found was the way that the house was constructed originally in the early 1900s or late 1800s. More than likely, it was probably somebody's winter home, their second home. So in places where there's typically 4x6s or even 6x6s, there was 2x4s, or in some cases, not even that. And where a lot of those beams were, they were severely termite damaged. There was fire damage. It just had so many problems that everything was going to have to be replaced and redone. So yeah, it was a hard call, but we decided to harvest the pieces of it that we could: doors, hardware, some cabinetry, all the brass, the old brass hinges, windows. Some of the hardwood floors we were able to save. There was no subflooring underneath. So the hardwood floors, the heart of pine, were in pretty bad shape. They were pretty brittle, but we were able to save about 200 square feet of that. Our house that we took down was, I would say, a late Victorian or kind of Victorian farmhouse, but it had, some gingerbread and corbels and things like that. And, what we're leaning towards is more trying to build something that's going to hopefully stand the tests of time, have steel innards instead of wood that can, have termite damage, probably even made out of brick or stucco. We're trying to take all these things into consideration because we're on the water, salt water at that. We are in a flood zone. We do get storms and hurricanes and things like that. So, we want the house to last for the next 200 years. And hopefully somebody a few hundred years from now when we're gone will be saying, wow, whoever built this house did a great job because, all we have to do is shore it up over here or, put a new roof on or add a new robot or whatever they're going to do in the future. Who knows? My initial reaction when I was told it wasn't salvageable was denial. I would say it's very similar to any other grieving process. You go through denial. There was definitely some anger and jealousy. I'm watching all these thousands of hours of TV shows and every house on television they save. And I'm angry. I'm like, I don't understand why can they save that house and they can't save this one? Like disbelief. So I guess in there came some bargaining. Like, what if we threw out the floor plan that we thought we needed to have? We thought we wanted a primary downstairs because we're going to age and we want this to be our toe tag house and like the place where we die or we spend our last days. So what if we were able to figure out some way, like put in an elevator or something and we wouldn't have to have the primary down? So we started doing all this bargaining and things like that. But there was all the stages of, denial, disbelief, anger, bargaining. And then I think finally the kicker was having the structural engineer say, what we just had said in passing in front of him, we're going to have a haunted house this weekend. We'd moved out of the house. They'd done the strategic demo, an exploratory demo. So we thought, wouldn't it be fun for the local schools if we put on a haunted house? And when we just kind of said those were our plans, the following weekend, the structural engineer, his whole body language changed and he got really uncomfortable and he was like, wait, what? What are you saying in that house? How many people are you going to have? And where in the house are they going to be? And he said, I'm not comfortable with that. And he said, let me get back to you. And so he came back and had a plan and said, I want to block off these areas. I don't want anybody in this corner of the house. I don't want anybody in this corner. No more than 5 people at a time. And he put up all kinds of barricades. And he said, now I think you'll be okay. But you need to strongly control it and don't let any more people than 5 in at a time. And that, I think, is when it really set in, like what kind of shape the house was in. Because up until that point, I was like, this builder's saying they can't save it. This builder's saying they can. Maybe this builder just wants to sell me a new house. And maybe this builder, it was just, you just don't know what to believe. But when somebody tells you something like that, there's no rationalizing around that. So that was the kicker. We decided that we're going to build something new that looks old. And the city that we live in, Dunedin, Florida, has 60 architectural guideline pages with all kinds of styles you can choose from, which was extremely helpful because I didn't even know where to begin. So we just were looking at pictures and I'm really drawn to the houses that you see like in New Orleans. And part of that is because, they're up high and I want our house to be up above the FEMA floodplain. A lot of the houses that you see in New Orleans and Charleston are built up high, but the way that they're landscaped or the way that the porches are open and wide and really tall, they don't look weird. They don't look like a house that's on stilts. And our street is so beautiful. I don't want us to have a brand new house that stands out like a sore thumb that's 20 feet up in the air. It'll just look weird. So yeah, I think we're kind of on this path of this French colonial with like a little Greek revival thrown in, maybe a little Queen Anne Victorian. It's a little more ornate than what we had before. So that's kind of the direction that we're going. So we started this channel with the idea that we were going to capture this restoration process, donate it to the Historical Society. And now we just have mud on our faces. We just feel like horrible. And so we don't know. We don't know what to do. We don't know. Do you guys want to see the rest of this process? Do you want to see what happens when you tear down a house and you have neighbors on a very beloved street in a very beloved town and you build something new? I mean, I just don't know what to do. I want to put information out there if people want it and try to reduce like the rumors and the gossip. But I also want to be respectful to the families and the relatives of the families that lived there before, because this is just not what we expected. And it's pretty painful. We started this project, super excited. There's a lot of helium out of the balloon right now. But yeah, we're interested to see what the followers think. So anybody on TikTok or Instagram watching, let us know what you think. Leave a comment or send a DM. We do read it. And yeah, we want to know what you think. And Marcia, I'm talking directly to you because I think your comments are very passionate, and your experience having restored your own home, I believe you said in Pennsylvania, seem like you really have a lot of experience. And I think you would really add a lot of value to the Dunedin Historical Society. And it's a volunteer association. I am not a member. I would like to join, but they may not want me because I had to tear my house down. But I think that you would be extremely valuable. And I really would like to see you get involved. And maybe someday we can save some house together.